by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down. How can we sing? Master Yah sung in a strange land. But he said we are in a strange land. We must be fruitful, marry, have children, because we will not be back in that land until he comes, till the one who is rightfully own the land, which is Yah. And as we are here to get some clarity, we want to know, as I decrease, we have to ask our dear brother, Damani Wade, who will be increasing in text messages from Yah unto us, to impede it unto us, that we can have a brighter tomorrow. Give him a round of applause as he comes.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You know, as I sat there and I heard the song, it reaches to the highest mountain and flows to the lowest valley. It was the blood that gave me strength. I laughed to myself because 2 weeks ago, while doing some research for the series that I'm about to begin, I came across a particular scripture, and I'm going to ask Anthony to give Pastor the mic again, because I want him to read Amos 9 again for us. I came across Amos 9 verse 7, where Yahuwah asked the question, "Are you not like the Cushite unto me?" And I didn't understand what the verse meant, but I was doing something, so I just wrote it down in my phone, and I put 2 question marks beside it, so I can know that that's how I usually write things that I need to further look into. I wrote it in the phone and I put 2 question marks beside it. Last week I was here in praise and worship, drowning in problems, thinking about the problems while the praise and worship team was singing. Something tapped me on the shoulder and said to me, "Look into your phone," because I was wondering why so much things going bad all at once. So I opened the phone and I went into the notes and I saw Amos 9:7. I read it again. And it still never make any sense. I said to myself, you always say to the congregation, you have to read the pretext and the post-text if you want the context, right? And so I went to verse 1. And I asked Pastor to read it now while I break it down. Amos 9 from 1 to 10.
I saw Yahuwah standing upon the altar, and he said, "Smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head."
All right.
All of them.
So, Yahuwah is instructing someone to hit the doorpost so that the door and the post and everything will fall and hit some people in the head. You hear that, right?
Yeah.
So, boss head go on right there. Your head boss. We're breaking it down simple as possible. And when I started to read it, I said, this sound like some enemy thing now. This sound like Yahuwah is avenging Israel, right? Sound like, all right, continue, Pastor.
And I will slay the last of them with the sword.
Every single one.
He that flees of them shall not flee afar away. He that escapes of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into Sheol or El, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, there will I bring them down.
Stop again. So we sing a while ago how it reaches to the highest mountain and flows to the lowest valley. This is reaching to the highest mountain and flowing to the lowest valley, and it is not a good thing. The man is saying that if you run to the highest mountain, may I dry you down from our fight. And if you dig a hole for try go down in the lowest valley, in the depths of the earth, may I dig you out. Because may I deal with you. Continue, Pastor.
And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out there. And though they be hidden from my sight in the bottom of the sea, there will I command the serpent, and he will bite them. And though they go into captivity before their enemies, there I will command the sword, and he shall slay them. And I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good.
All right. So you realize he's saying to you that if you go to Carmel, the mountain, I'm coming there for you. If you go to the sea, I'm going to command the serpent in the sea to come for you. So in other words, he's saying to you, there is nowhere on the face of this planet where you can go and I won't find you and mash you up. And then he goes as far as to say, you see, even the punishment that I pronounce upon you, where if you don't follow my words, I am going to let you become slaves. Even when you become slaves, and you think that this is enough punishment, I am going to command the sword to come and find you in your captivity. Continue, Pastor.
And Adonai Yahuwah Sebaoth is he that touches the land, and it shall melt, and all that dwell therein shall mourn, and it shall rise up only like a flood, and shall be drowned, as by the flood of Egypt. Verse 6. It is he that builds his stories in the heavens, and hath founded his troop in the earth. He that calls for the waters of the sea, and pours them out upon the face of the earth. Yahuwah is his name. Are ye not as the children of the Cushite? Unto me, O children of Yashar'el.
So who is he talking to now? All of this pronouncement and bad things that he's going to do to them. Who is he talking to? Israel. Continue.
Says Yahuwah, have not I brought up Yashar'el out of the land of Egypt, and the Philistine from Capharto, and the Amorite from Kir? Behold, the eyes of Adonai Yahuwah are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, says Yahuwah. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Yashar'el among all nations, like as grain is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which says, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Thank you. So I ask a question now. Have you ever wondered why, as an individual, nothing that you put your hand to comes to fruition?
Every time I wonder that.
And we say with salt, right? You always hear Jamaican people say salt. You ever wonder why, no matter where you try, all the ideas that you get, nothing that you do works? You ever wonder? See, there we just read a while ago. Yahuwah is against us. And he's saying there is nowhere on the face of this earth where you can run to. And I will not mash you up. And he's saying that he's sifting Israel now in a sieve. And we must give thanks. Because you see, if we're not big enough to not pass through the sieve, dog eat your supper. So this is the sifting that is taking place. So you notice every time we come into more truth, more and more people fall through the sieve. So now we realize, and it's the first thing I want us to take from the series, even though I'm going to show you the conspiracy in the world against the real Israel, I want you to first understand, before you go blame anybody else, first understand that Yahuwah is first and foremost against us before any nation. And that is why our life is so hard. Because we turned away from Him. So over the next couple of weeks now, I am going to unearth history. The real history. We're not talking about his story that the white man gave us. We learned that Christopher Columbus discovered the Western world. But yet still when he came, he found people here. We're going to look into the real history to see if we can find Israel, because we know based on prophecy that Israel was scattered. So we need to find the real Israel. And when we're talking about Israel, we have to talk about a man by the name of Abraham. Abraham. Because we are told that we are from Africa. And we don't know anything beyond that, right? They say we are from Africa. But I am going to let you know now that Africa is a fairly recent name. Centuries ago, nowhere was named Africa. See it here? So the origins of Africa, we're looking at Father Abraham today. We're seeking to find out the origin of Israel. So we have to go back to our past so we can identify us today, right? So see it here, Africa, according to Britannica, in antiquity, the Greeks are said to have called the continent Libya. That is Greece, and Greece just done rule and then Rome take over from Greece. So Greece used to call the place Libya, the entire place they used to call Libya. And the Romans to have called it Africa, perhaps from the Latin. So the word Africa is a Latin word. So it's not an ancient language it even come from. From the Latin Africa, which means sunny, or the Greek Afrike, which means without cold, because the place is hot. The name Africa, however, was chiefly applied to the northern coast of the continent, which was in effect regarded as a southern extension of Europe. The Romans, who for a time ruled the North African coast, are also said to have called the area south of their settlements Afriga, or the land of the Afrigs, the name of a Berber community south of Carthage. So Africa just come about. Abraham never knew no way name Africa. Yahusha never knew no way name Africa. According to AfricanFolder.com, the Phoenician theory, the Phoenicians were a Semitic people who lived in what is now Lebanon. They were a major seafaring power in the ancient world, and Lebanon is in the Middle East. And they were the first known people to sail to Africa. The Phoenicians may have named Africa after the dusty desert landscape which they would have seen when they first arrived on the continent. And there's another, the ancient name that they say for the place is Al-Kebulan, one of the earliest recorded names, written names. And they're not talking about the Bible now, they're talking about their history. So the earliest recorded name that they have of Africa is Al-Kebulan, which translates to the land of the blacks or the mother of mankind. So you realize when you're studying this thing, a lot of books that I've been reading, a rabbit hole, you keep uncovering things, you realize that they give us a place name and they call us thus. So they say you are from Africa, thus you are Africans. And when you realize these are very recent, they're very recent development. So we have to go beyond that. You realize they are trying to cover up something. Something not right. Something is fishy. This is what sparked this sermon. Ezekiel 16. I was reading. It's amazing how the Spirit works. Reading Ezekiel. I read it for fun because I just love the prophet. I think this prophet here, my favorite prophet in the Bible, based on the prophecies that he was given. Again, the word of Yahuwah came to me saying, Son of man, we know it already. Once a year, Ezekiel, you know it's Son of man. Make known to Jerusalem her abominations. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Or Judah, whatever you want to call it. Israel, Judah, Ephraim, all of them, same thing. All of them come from one person, Jacob. Look how Yahweh's class Israel now. Make known to her her abominations. Look how he begins. Thus said the Master Yahuwah to Jerusalem, your origin, watch this now. What origin mean? Where you come from, the real come from now. I don't want to see no man asleep now, because this is history class. I'm spend a whole heap of time to prepare these things now. Buy a whole heap of books, I should have carried them so you see them. A whole heap of money spent for this. Your origin, where you come from, Israel, and your birth are from the land of Canaan. Watch this now. Your father was an Amorite, and your mother was a Hittite. Big problem this will work up in a now. This is big problem. Because Amorite and Hittite come from who? Ham. But Abraham and Israel and Shem and all of those people come from Shem, no sir? So we have a problem. Because Yahuwah is saying to Israel that your father was an Amorite, making him a Hamite, if that's how we look at it. And your mother was a Hittite, who is also a Hamite. So we buck up in a problem. Because see here, Genesis 10, the sons of Ham are Cush, Egypt, or Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan. Canaan brought forth Sidon his firstborn, Heth, the Jebusite, and the Amorite. So the Amorites come from Ham. But Abraham come from Shem, because remember Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth. So we need to fix something, Sister Reynolds, because we have a genealogical problem here now. Genesis 11, see here, this is the genealogy of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and he brought forth Arpachshad. Arpachshad come down now and then we get Terah. And Terah brought forth Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So we have a problem. Because we know that based on the scripture, Abraham, which is the father of Israel, right? And even if we say it was referring to Isaac or Jacob, same line. Even if we say it was referring to Abraham's father, which is Terah, same line, is one line. They are all from Shem. So how then is Yahuwah saying to Israel that your father was an Amorite and your mother a Hittite? Bible commentators confused. They make up all different kind of things and say it was symbolism and madness. Watch this. Let us look at the Shemite versus Semite, because we are told that they are one and the same. They are not. This is not a case of somebody who have list on and can't say this and they say Shemite. No. 2 different something. So what is a Shemite? What is a Semite? So a Shemite is a descendant of Shem. So the sons of Shem were Elam, Ashur, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram. So in order for you to be a Shemite, you must come from one of these 5 men, right? Because it's only 5 sons Shem have. So if you don't come from one of these 5 sons, you are not a Shemite. No, so? Talk to me, no, man. Semite now, watch this, is a name given in the 19th century to a member of any people who speak one of the Semitic languages. A family of languages spoken primarily in parts of Western Asia and Africa. The term therefore came to include Arabs, Akkadians, Canaanites, Hebrews, and some Ethiopians. So Shemites and Hamites get the terminology Semitic because they speak Semitic language. In Brazil, they speak Portuguese. Doesn't mean that they are from Portugal, right? And the people from Portugal also speak Portuguese. But we will call a Brazilian a Portuguese because he speaks Portuguese. We will call a Cuban
and the Dominican Republic Spanish, because they speak Spanish doesn't mean that they are from Spain or Española. You understand? So these people are called Semitic because they speak the Semitic or one of the Semitic languages, not because they are from Shem. So Semitic is a matter of language. Shemitic is a matter of genealogy, ancestry. Elam, for example, now. So you see these four boys, Ashur, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram. All of those came down and formed nations that spoke a Semitic language. But Elam, the first son, did not speak a Semitic language. But he was Shemitic because he is from Shem, but not Semitic. But these four are all Shemitic and Semitic. Assume, bite me tongue. So Semitic is any person or people who speak one or more of the Semitic languages. So the Portuguese and the Spanish. You speak Portuguese, you speak Spanish, we call you Portuguese, we call you Spanish. Doesn't mean that you are from Portugal or Spain. Right? We call people English, we call the American people English. They call them the English speaking. But they are, well, they are from England. Really and truly, they are from England. But so the Elamites didn't speak a Semitic language, but they were descendants of Shem. This means they were Shemitic, but not Semitic. So a Shemite is not necessarily a Semite, because a Shemite doesn't necessarily speak Semitic. The Elamites, I think they spoke Akkadian or one of those languages. Genesis 10 again, the sons of Ham, Cush, Mitzrayim put Canaan. Canaan brought forth Sidon, Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, Girgashite, Evite, Arkite, Sinite, Arwadite, Semarite, Hamathite. And afterward, the clans of the Canaanites were spread abroad. Man get big, and that's why from Yaga school, teacher tell you to draw a family tree. What does a family tree have? Branches. People branch off, and everybody go form them own. So you have a main stem, everybody have to go them separate ways. That is the only way we are going to dwell. Can't dwell together because the family expands. Is this world? No, family don't expand in this current world. So the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Cushites are from Ham, yet they speak Semitic languages. So this means that a Hamite can be a Semite because they speak a Semitic language. You soon understand why we're laboring like this. So let us look at Father Abraham now. Have many sons. Many sons indeed of Father Abraham. So watch it. Let us see if we can understand. Why would Yahweh say to the Israelites, your father, and we know that once him say your father, he's talking about Abraham, was an Amorite. Why would Yahweh say that to Abraham? Watch this now. History class. Father Abraham, Genesis 11. This is the genealogy of Terah. Terah brought forth Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran brought forth Lot. Watch this now. Haran died before his father Terah in the land where? Of his birth. Not the land of his origin. In the land of his birth. At the same born. Man born in America to Jamaican parents. America is the land of his birth. Not necessarily the land of his descent. You understand me now? Lovely. And what is the name of that land? Ur of the Chaldees. Abraham and Nahor took wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarah. The name of Nahor's wife, Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Yisra'el. And Sarai was barren. She had no child. Watch this now. Terah took his son Abram and his grandson Lot. Notice that. That's why I don't cut out these verses even though they are not a part of the presentation. I don't cut them up because I want you to see that it's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Notice Yahuwah don't mention yet. Because oftentimes we say that Yahuwah called Abraham from Ur of the Chaldees. No, we don't see that in the book. You're going to see where him called him from. He said to him that I am the one who called you out of Ur of the Chaldees. But I soon explain to you why he said that to him. Chaldees is not where he called him from. Abraham's father decided that him leaving. I remember when you read Joshua, Joshua tell you that the king tried to something there, burn Abraham. And Aaron took his place and got burned. And so Abraham's father decided no, that we have to leave this place because we don't have any place here. We don't have the time to go through that story. So that is the reason. So when they take out the books, we're operating short-handed. But we have the full picture now. So something transpired. Terah packed up his entire family and said, we're leaving. That's why I say Haran died before his father. Died. King burned him up. So he took his son Abram and his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, and his son Abram's wife, and they went out with them from outside of Ur of the Chaldees, to go to the land of Canaan. And they came to where? Haran, and dwelt there. Now, when you're reading this, it don't make no sense to you. Just hear one place named Call, and you just skip over it, and you're gone about your business. He went to Haran. So they're journeying, and they just come to Haran. So it's like we're going to Ochi. We know so we have to pass Linstead, right? You know, get the connection to realize that is a reason. It's not that you must have to pass Haran. Go there for a reason. Watch this. Why dwell in Haran? I'm going to show you. Because you see, by the time we buck up on this again now, we no remember say, they did mention Haran again, you know. Genesis 12. Yahweh said to Abraham. So in Genesis 11, we see Abraham dwelling now in Haran, right? See Yahweh come to him now. So where is he now? Haran. So when Yahweh appeared to Abraham, where was he? Haran. So when Yahweh said to him, say, get yourself out of your land, from your relatives, and from your father's house, to a land which I show you. Where is he telling him to leave from? Haran. You don't believe me? Bible we are used. Watch it. So Abraham is originally from Haran, but you don't believe me yet. It's fine. I shall make you a great nation and bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I shall bless those who bless you, curse him who curse you. In you all the clans of the earth shall be blessed. So Abraham left Haran as Yahuwah commanded him. And Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. By the time we come across Haran again, you know, we don't remember say God did mention Haran and Abraham and Volipa mix up with Haran. That is all. That's why when I tell you last week, so when you're reading the Bible, you have to, it's difficult, you know. But you have to see if you can remember, say the writer did mention these things, because the writer don't just drop names for drop name purpose, drop name sake. When you're watching a movie, you see them mention a one person. And then on part 2, you see that person just magically appear in the movie now. Is a reason why they mention them in part 1. Because they're going to play a role in the time to come. Genesis 15 now, Yahweh go to Abraham and said to him, and I'm going to explain this now to you, because we're not jumping over it. He said to him, I am Yahweh who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees. So he's appearing to the young man and him saying to him, so listen man, you feel like when you get up and boy, you left Ur of the Chaldees, you do that off of your own? You see, I'm me from them time, they are me a lead you. From them time, I am the one who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees. If you never know. So he's letting him know that, listener, from long time me I watch you. It's not just when me appear to you in Haran. Long time me I watch you. That's why I'm saying, I am the one who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees to give you this land to inherit. Same as I said to him, say, for a long time me I watch your boss. Been watching you a very long time. I'm going to prove to you now that Haran is where Abraham was originally from. Abraham said to the oldest of his house in Genesis 24, whole heap of chapters later. Everyone, the one who ruled over all that he had, and we know that this person is Eliezer. He said to him, please put your hand under my thigh so that I make you swear by Yahuwah, the Elohim of the heavens and the Elohim of the earth, that you do not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell. This is just where I dwell. In other words, he said, Me just live here so me no come from boya. I'm just living here. Me no come from here. Do not take a wife for my child from here. But here where you're going to go? You're going to go where? To my land. To my relatives. And take a wife for my son Isaac. Yahuwah Elohim of the heavens, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my relatives, and who spoke to me and swore to me, saying, to your seed I give this land. He will send his messenger before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. We're not mixing and mingling with nobody else. With our own family we're mixing with. So go and take a wife for my son from amongst my people. My descent, my ancestry. That is where you go and take a wife for my son. Watch it. This is why we don't make the connection. Yahuwah. And the servant took 10 of his master's camels and left, for all his master's good gifts were in his hand. And he arose and went to where? Aram Naharaim. And this is why we don't make the connection to the city of Nahor. So Abraham now say, so you're confused now, because Abraham said, go to my land, my place. And the man say, my place this. Boy, can't diss me around here. And now we hear different name, Aram Naharaim. What kind of excitement this? Watch again now. Isaac now called Jacob his son. So after Abraham sent now, we go get wife from Aram Naharaim for Isaac. Isaac now is going to send Jacob, his son. So we see the trend coming down the line. Like father, like son. So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him and said to him, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. This is many years later, and the man them still don't consider themselves to be Canaanites. Them say, no one no woman from monks here. Go back down a country where me come from, down a yard. Back down a St. Elizabeth, back down a Hanover, Trelawney, anywhere where me come from. Down that's where I want my wife from. Say, arise and go to Padan Aram. Different name again, story mash up. Go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, from the daughters of Lebanon, your mother's brother. I remember we already know that Isaac married his cousin, Rebecca, right? So what are my family? So even though you must say your mother, father, I feel family too. And El Shaddai bless you and make you fruitful and increase you, and you shall become an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and to your seed with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojournings, which Elohim gave to Abraham. Watch this now. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Padan Aram, to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Aramean. Country mash up again, because first we hear about Amorite, now we hear about Aramean. No most confused. No most confused. Watch it. The brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. So you see, Padan Aram was a biblical region referring to the northern plain of Aram Naharaim. That's why the word Aram is in it. Because guess what? Remember the names of Shem's sons? Let me see if we can go back so far. I will Shem's son name again. Look, Elam, Ashur, Arpachshad, Lud, and what? Aram! And the place name Aram Naharaim and Padan Aram. You think it's coincidence? What we say cow do? No incidence. Cow they are bush, I eat grass, no so? Okay. Watch it. Genesis 29. Jacob moved on and he came to the land, so he reached now. The land of the people of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a large stone was on the well's mouth. And all the flock would be gathered there. Then they would roll the stone from the well's mouth and water the sheep, put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. So Jacob said to them, my brothers, came see some man at the well side and said, brethren, which part do you come from? Where are you from? And they said, we are from Haran. But which part him there? Padan Aram. Aram same way. And he said to them, man, them said them come from where? Haran. And we ask them now, say, if that was a far-fetched place, if the man then he say, all right, me come from Egypt, you're thinking, would I ask them this question, them I going to ask them now? It means that when the man them say, we are from Haran, him say, yes man, them man I come from my place, so me can ask them now for directions to the house. So he said to them, do you know Laban, son of Nahor? And they said, we know him. So he said to them, is he well? And they said, yes, he is well. See, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep. Man, reach at the family place. Haran, Padan Aram, Aram Naharaim, whatever you want to call it. So Aram, according to history, watch this, is the ancient country of the Middle East, southwestern Asia. It extended eastward from the Anti-Lebanon mountains to beyond the Euphrates River. It was named for the Arameans, that is Shem's son, no sir? Yes, thank you. Who emerged from the Syrian desert to invade Syria and upper Mesopotamia, and who built numerous city kingdoms, including Damascus. It lends its name to the Aramaic language. What language was your Bible written in? Aramaic and Hebrew. No, sir? Thank you very much. Coincidence? Look at Aram Naharaim now. The Naharaim means Aram between the 2 rivers. That's how people name place, you know. A place in Jamaica named Blue Hole because there's a blue hole down there. Man, them say it now have no bottom when you jump off into the water. It now no bottom right there, so them call it Blue Hole because it's blue. So Aram Naharaim is reference to Aram, the part of Aram that lies between 2 rivers. Watch this. So it is the biblical term for the ancient land of the Arameans in Mesopotamia, specifically the great bend of the Euphrates River. And the 2 rivers that this land dwells between are the Tigris and the Euphrates River. So Padan Aram and Haran are in the same region, and the region is called Aram Naharaim. So Padan Aram and Haran are in Aram Naharaim. So it's like you have Jamaica and you have St. Catherine and you have Spanish Town. Spanish Town in St. Catherine and St. Catherine in Jamaica. Father Abraham's ethnic country, ethnic origin. Look at this map here. And see, when I want to down there, see if you can follow me with the mouse so Zoom can see where I'm pointing. This red line here is the Tigris River, and it comes around, and it comes down and comes down and comes down and comes down and comes down. Thank you. And this red line here is the Euphrates, and it goes around and comes down and comes down and comes down and comes down and comes down. Thank you. And that between those 2 rivers is Aram Naharaim, where your father Abraham is from. That's why your Bible was written in Aramaic, because Abraham was an Aramean. But we have a problem because Yahweh said, I'm right. So that is a problem. Conundrum. Big problem. And so anytime I write sermon, I buck up in a problem. See there? Yahweh said your origin and your birth are from the land of Canaan. Your father was an Amorite, your mother a Hittite. Oh, we work it out because the Amorites are descendants of Ham. So what did Yahuwah mean? Look at the solution. The term is geographical. It was a geographical term. When Yahuwah said your father was an Amorite, he was referring geographic and not biology. Could not have been biology. Yahusha was often referred to as a Nazarene because he was from Nazareth. Just like we hear them call Kingston people what? Kingstonian. However, his ancestral descent is Shem, who got Abraham, who got Jacob, who got Israel, and he got Judah. And we know that Yahusha is from the tribe of Yehuda. But them call him Yeshua Amashiach of Nazareth. The Nazarene. You hear them refer to him as a Nazarene. So the term Amorite does not necessarily denote ancestral descent, but geographical origin. So in other words, which part you come from. The place where you are from. Example, 1 Samuel 1. There was a certain man from Ramathaim Sophim of the mountains of Ephraim. So he's from where? The mountains of Ephraim. So he's dwelling in a Ephraim territory, in other words. Man is living in Spanish Town. His name was Elkanah, son of Jeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Suf, an Ephraimite. So the Bible calls him an Ephraimite. Other translations say an Ephrathite. But there's a problem here because this man is the father of Samuel. And Samuel in 1 Samuel 3 verse 1 was young and he was serving Yahweh before Eli. So this means that Samuel was serving in the temple, which means that he must have to been from where? The tribe of Levi. But the book just tells us that he's from where? Ephraim. Look at 1 Chronicles 6 if you don't believe. The sons of Levi, given the genealogy. Gershom, Kehath, Merari, and the sons of Kohath, Aminadab, and Korah his son, and Asir his son, and Eliab his son, and Jeroham his son, and Elkanah his son, and then Elkanah got Samuel, whose descent this is listing, Levi, no so. So we have one part of the Bible telling us that Samuel is from Levi, and another part telling us he's from Ephraim. How we rectify it? Simple maths. The word Ephrathite is a descendant of Ephraim and also an inhabitant of Ephraim. So you live there, so them say you live there, so them call you so. When you get your green card, them say you're American now, no? But you come from Jamaica. Nobody for you never come from America yet. So when the Bible said that man lived in the mountain of Ephraim and Ephrathite, is saying that listen out, that's how man live, brethren. See another example here, Judges 17, because I don't want you to say that you never get enough example. There was a young man from Bethlehem in Judah. Where is he from? Bethlehem in Judah. Of the clan, of the tribe, it even goes as far as to say, of the clan of Judah. And he was a Levite. Them confused. And he was sojourning there. And the man went out of the city of Bethlehem in Judah to sojourn wherever he could find a place. And he came to the mountains of Ephraim, to the house of Micah as he journeyed. And Micah said to him, where do you come from? Either you come from Levi or you come from Judah and a brethren. Don't. Okay. And he said to him, listen now, listen to the man answer. The man said, I am a Levite, which means that his descent, his biology is from where? Levi. Because him say I'm a Levite. But I am from Bethlehem in Judah. So two different things happening here. One is where him come from, or where him live, where is he residing. And the other is his ancestral descent. The biology, the genealogy. So when Yahuwah said to Abraham that said to Israel that your father was an Amorite, it's not genealogy. It's geography. And I'm going to show you because we still have a problem because remember, it's Aram we're seeing and not the land of the Amorites. Don't. It's the Arameans we're seeing. So that's the second conundrum now, the problem. We see a connection in the scriptures to Arameans and not Amorites. And we see it there in Genesis 28 that we just read, where he said to Bethuel, go to Bethuel, the Aramean. Look at this. So in Ezekiel 16, Sir Brady and Sister Reynolds, and everyone who is sleeping, wake up. In Ezekiel 16, verse 3, Yahweh said to Jerusalem, your origin and your birth. So you come from there, you're born there. Are from the land of Canaan. Your father was an Amorite and your mother a Hittite. This is Yahweh speaking, right? And he is the righteous judge and him not talk foolishness. And him not make mistake. Watch Yahweh speak again in Deuteronomy 26. Bible sweet. It shall be, Yahweh speaking, when you come into the land, Moses telling the people which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance, and you possess it and dwell in it, that you shall take some of the first of all the fruits of the soil which you bring from that your land, which Elohim is giving you, and you shall put it in a basket and go to the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell there. And look what Moses tell the people to say when they are making their offering. You shall answer and say before Yahweh your Elohim, my father, who is this reference to? Who is the father of Israel? Abraham was a wandering, is the correct translation here, not perishing, was a wandering Aramean. So it's either Yahweh tongue twist up or something not right. Because we have Yahweh saying that the father was an Amorite, and now he's saying that he's an Aramean. I can't wait for done this sermon because them two words they mash me up. Is Yahweh confused? Solution. Watch this now. Pay attention. During Abraham's time, my people, no nation or people was known as Arameans. They were not known as such. This is a biblical anachronism. You know what is an anachronism? An anachronism is if I take this smartphone here and go to the 18th century and go put it down on a man's desk. It should not be there at that time in history. Because it wasn't made as yet. You understand? So at the time, no nation was known as Arameans yet when Abraham was living. This doesn't mean that they never existed. All nations are people of origins. No, sir. All of we come from somewhere, which is from the beginning, from Adam. The question now is, who were the Arameans known as before they became Arameans? So let us look at it now. Because I never like history while going to school, I don't know how I end up. I have to be doing so much historical research. Arameans, according to Britannica.com, we're going to pick out, you say everything I have in green, I just want you to pick them out and remember, register them in your brain. Remember, we don't really do the register thing, but register it in your brain. This is a good thing to register. Aramean is one of a confederacy of tribes that spoke a North Semitic language. And between the 11th and 8th century BC, occupied Aram, the territory known as Aram. Which part of them occupy? Aram. A large region in northern Syria. In the same period, some of these tribes seized large tracts of Mesopotamia. In the Old Testament, the Arameans are represented as being closely akin to the Hebrews. What akin mean? Related. Today, Hebrews. I may just show you a while ago. Say what? Abraham was an Aramean. No, sir? Okay. See, history tells us that the Arameans were always close to the Hebrews, closely akin, closely related. And they were living in northern Syria around Haran. We saw that, right? From about the 16th century BC. So by the end of the 11th century, the Arameans had formed the state of Bit Adini. on the both sides of the Euphrates River, below Carchemish, and held areas in Anatolia, northern Syria, and in the anti-Lebanon area, including Damascus. The Arameans were a tribal Semitic people in the ancient Near East, first documented in historical sources from the late 12th century. Their homeland, often referred to as the land of Aram, originally covered central regions of modern Syria. So them come from Aram, speak Semitic, one of the Semitic languages, closely akin to the Hebrews. Let us look at the Amorites. They are a member of an ancient Semitic speaking people. You see a similarity already? Who dominated the history of Mesopotamia. You see the similarity already? Syria and Palestine. You see the similarities already? From about 2000 to 600 BC, 1600 BC, in the oldest cuneiform sources, the Amorites were equated with the West, though their true place of origin was most likely Arabia, not Syria. They were troublesome nomads and were believed to be one of the causes of the downfall of the third dynasty of Ur. Now, the same place that Abraham and his father have to run from, because them kill Aaron and go back to them place. Oh. The Amorites were an ancient Northwest Semitic speaking people. Bronze Age people from the Levant, initially appearing in Sumerian records, 2500 BC. They expanded and ruled most of the Levant, Mesopotamian parts of Egypt from the 21st century BC to the late 17th century BC by the time of the last days of the third dynasty of Ur. Watch this. The immigrating, so them like to move, on the move. The immigrating Amorites, remember we just saw that the Arameans were nomadic people. And now the Amorites are called immigrating, the same thing, nomad, they don't stay one place. Had become such a force that kings such as Shusin were obligated to construct a 270-kilometer wall from the Tigris to the Euphrates to hold them off. The king built one wall where? Tigris and Euphrates to block them out. Not the same Aram that. Answer me, not the same Aram that. Same land. Okay. The Amorites are depicted in contemporary records as nomadic tribes under chiefs who forced themselves into lands they needed to graze their herds. Sound familiar? Sound like Abraham, don't? Sound like Lot, don't? After the mid-second millennium BC, Syrian Amorites, watch this now, it's not me saying, this is Wikipedia, them big something. Syrian Amorites came under the domination of the first Hittites. Hittites, you know? And Yahweh said the mother was Hittite, you know? And from the 14th century BC, the Middle Assyrian Empire, they then appear to have been displaced. Watch this now, important part. So the Amorites appear to have been displaced or absorbed by other semi-nomadic West Semitic-speaking peoples, known collectively as the Alamu during the late Bronze Age collapse. The Arameans then, so when the Amorites disappeared according to history, the Arameans appear, not a disappear. The people them just lose them power and then they rise up back after a while. You understand? Not a disappear. People don't just drop off our face of earth. The people them just lose them power, rise up back. Because if them they disappear at this time, all them come back later down in the Bible and volley for excitement with Amorites. So the Arameans now rose to be the prominent group amongst the Alamu. So somebody take them place. They are saying, no, it's same people. Them just lose and they are on a down path. Lose them power because they were ruling and them lose them power a couple years pass and them rise up back again. From 1200 BC onward, the Amorites disappeared from the pages of history, but the name reappeared in the Hebrew Bible. So the name Amorite disappeared from the history pages and now Arameans come up. I am telling you now, today, that they are one and the same people. Tell me if this is a coincidence. Yahuwah called Abraham Amorite and Aramean, and now we are seeing some similarities between both peoples. But if you don't believe me, that they are one and the same people, one and the same region, look at this linguistic evidence, because there's a man who studied this thing. And in his article, Is There a Connection Between Amorites and Arameans? Daniel Bodie wrote, there seems to exist a linguistic continuity between the Amorite and the Aramaic languages. Arzadok has suggested that certain eastern members of the Amorite dialect cluster, which were spoken in Jezreel and on the fringe of the Syrian desert, were the ancestors of the Aramaic language. An indication of Amorite migration can be deduced from the way they integrated and associated the names of their gods, watch this now, with those from the land of Canaan, like Adad, Dagon, El, and Era. Watch this. The following personal names would tend to confirm it. Look at this name. With the man finding the writings with the Amorites and the Arameans. Yahweh ki Adad. Look how it translates. Yahweh is like Adad. Because remember, Adad is one of the Canaanite gods, you know. And them now incorporating with the Canaanites, then say Yahweh, which is our God now, they must say, is like Adad. Where this come from, and man, I tell you about name last. When you come with sacred name, man, tell us a name last, and these things are in the pages of history. This is from the Amorites and the Arameans in the virgin. This is not coming from Israel and no Hebrew, you know. This is from the Amorites, the people who preceded Israel, because remember, Israel must come from somewhere, you know. Israel must come from somewhere. You can't just pop up out of the blues like that. Yahweh ki El. Yahweh is like El. So tell me if it's coincidence. Tell me if Yahuwah was confused. So the Amorites and the Arameans, one and the same people. Same language, same region and same belt where them come from. One of the major gods from the culture was Yahweh. See there, Yahweh, I don't miss it. And they were always close to Israel and Israel's ancestors throughout the Bible. When you read Genesis 16, I think verse 19, it tells you that when Lot was captured, an Aramean run come to Abraham and said that he was a confederate. Them use the translation and say he was a confederate of Abraham. When you look at the Hebrew word, it said that he was in covenant with Abraham. Man, my family. Man still living in the region with him family. Them take a lot and one of them run come tell Abraham. Run come tell with family. So them take a lot, virgin, and family. I say, yo, you know, here's the man, them take a lot. Go read it for yourself, Genesis 16, if you think I'm joking. An Aramean, but when we're reading these things, we just fly over the names because they don't make sense to us, because they remove us from the culture. They remove us from the region. So when these names pop up, we're not even understanding. We just fly over them and read them fast. We can't even pronounce them. So we just want to read fast and move on. So does it make sense now why in Ezekiel 16, Yahweh would say to him that your father was an Amorite? And then in Deuteronomy 26, he's saying to them that your father was a wandering Aramean. It makes sense now? So the Amorites are the ancestors of the Arameans. And you don't worry yourself about the Amorites being descendants of, what's name? Ham. Remember that Canaan go take the people them land. Go into the people them land, go dwell, and so that's how we got the name Amorite. But the people who were there were Shem's descendants, because it's for them land. Canaan go invade the land and go place. You don't remember say that's how it go? Yeah, man. If you go back and live in Canaan now, probably them call us Canaanites. Doesn't mean that we are from Ham. We're living in Canaan, because that is the name that the land has. So when Yahweh say your father was an Amorite, he's making reference to the geographical area of where the Amorites are from. Right between the Euphrates and the Tigris River. So in conclusion, I just giving you Abraham's history now, I'm going to show you what is the point of this whole presentation, why we label like this. You know. Father Abraham, in conclusion, was an Amorite. He was an Aramean. Because we want to know where we come from. We want to know what we look like so we can identify us today. Watch this. Oh, we're not done yet. Wait, the Hittites. Now watch it yet. The Hittites were an Anatolian Indo-European people who formed one of the first major civilizations of Bronze Age West Asia, possibly originating from beyond the Black Sea. They settled in modern-day Turkey in the early 2nd millennium BC. Known in the modern times as the Hittite Empire, it reached its peak during the mid-14th century BC under Suppiluliuma, when it encompassed most of Anatolian parts of northern Levant and Upper Mesopotamia, and whole talking and excitement and Neo-Assyrian Empire, the same, you notice the same name of places we hear it. Let me show you a map because I know that we are people who learn from visual, right? Visual depiction. This is the land of the Hittites. Everything you see in green. Where you see right here, sir? Show them on YouTube and place there. What is this? Amorites. And the Hittites, them the right there, sir. So the Amorite father just pitch go up at top, find a nice cup browning, and come down. And even probably when the Bible is saying your father was an Amorite, probably it is mentioning all Shem. Anybody from the line coming down could be mentioning any one of them because the whole of them are the same thing. Them come from the one line. So the mother there could have been speaking to any one of the wives that any one of those men had. So what? Somebody listening says, so what? What? What is the point? What's so special? So yes, we find out now that we are Arameans. So what? Watch this. Judges 3, verse 5. Thus the children of Yashar'el dwelt in the midst of the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and they served their mighty ones. So whole pa mix up and mingling. Whole pa excitement, mingling go. Thus the children of Israel did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah and forgot Yahuwah their Elohim and served the Baals and the Asherahs. And the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against Yashar'el. Watch this now. And so Yahuwah sold them into the hand of Cushan Rishathaim, king of where? Aram Naharaim. So the king of Abraham's land was called Cushan Ramathaim. That's all. Rishathaim, sorry. Cushan. And the children of Israel served Cushan Rishathaim 8 years. So what? It's all in the names of the people and the places. Mr. Cushan was called so because he was black. So Cushan means their blackness. Or it is referred to a place in Arabia or Mesopotamia. They don't tell us these things. When we hear Cush, we think Ethiopia. Cush sometimes refer to a place in Mesopotamia or Arabia. Them don't want to tell us Aram, their blackness. Them black. So the king of Abraham's country is referred to as Cushan, which means their blackness. In black, so then he said, black a shine a come for you. Black like Dutch pot, so they call him Dutchy. Jeremiah 13:23. Does a Cushite change his skin? And they say the Ethiopians, no. Does a Cushite change his skin? Can he? No. But today they them give you medicine and make you change it. You take one pill and you voila, you're white. Yahweh must turn in heaven when him sue them. Bleach out them skin. Don't believe me? Fine. Take pictures. These are all from Aramean history and Amorite history. See them priests here? And I want you to notice every single picture I'm about to show you, all the men have their head covered, something that we need to address very soon, but the Spirit leading me a different way, so I don't have to wait. These are 3 priests. What color men do you see there? Do they look like the Arabs that you see in movies now? Nope. Look at the Canaanite goddess. No munchi this. Eh? No munchi this. This na feva This na feva munchi. This na feva patsy. Okay. If you don't believe me, watch it. It's Brady, yeah? All right. Brother Brady, that. Far right. Sir Brady, come make YouTube see you. See Sir Brady here, look what it say. Clay bust of an Amorite god. Black man. That is their depiction of their God. But Rome come and invent Jesus Christ and give to us. Look at the Canaanite God who was called El. Look at him. Him look like Caucasian to you? Would a Caucasian man design such a thing representing his God? Oh. See the Amorite man here again, Amorabi the God. And mark this now. Mark that already upon him, mark him there and ready for running. And your mark, get set, go. And this is a priest guiding a sacrificial bull. Fragment of a mural painting from the palace of Zimri-Lim. That's the palace where they went and found all the things for the Amorite history. The paintings. Look at the man, the Amorite man. See, head covered, beard. You say I mean that? Pitch patch beard and so. Yes, Pastor, so the pitch patch now have nothing to do with me not being Israel. Legitimate. Look at the Sumerian god. Bull with with the man's head. Look at this beard. You see nose? You see the eyes? Tell me if it's a Caucasian man that. This is God. This is a depiction of whosoever's God, one of them, the Amorites. God seated and somebody come to him. And notice how all of the pictures show their head covered. Just leading into that in time to come. But they said that Paul said that it's a shame for the man to cover his head in worship. And it does not nature itself teach you that it's a shame for a man to have long hair. When nature make the man hair grow and grow long. And grow longer than all female want to. If you don't believe me, look now. This is the Aramean king, Hazael. Yes, what his name? Hazael. Where's your pastor this? Could I pass females? Look at the Hittite Sphinx. This look like a Caucasian woman to you? I remember, I showed you a while ago, that the Hittite territory was higher. It was more north than the Amorite territory. And they claim that the more north you go, is the paler the skin. That's what them tell we. I'm sorry I couldn't zoom in on this verse, but when I zoom in, it don't look so proper. I can show you the picture later on. But these are people. Them little thing here where you see. People. Them black like a tar. So they were not white. That is so what? They were not white. Look at Lamentations 4. Her Nazarite were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. You ever seen ruby yet? Brown like my skin. Ruddy. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the street. Their skin cleaves to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick. Lamentations 5:10. Our skin has become hot as an oven because of the burning heat of scarcity of food. Wrong translation. Skin get black. They're hungry. Son, I beat them are hungry. I beat them starvation. Black. Look at the other translation, the King James. 5:10. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. See, Job used the same word again. Job 30 verse 30. My skin became black upon me, and my bones burned with heat. You see what is happening to them? In today's world, it is called hyperpigmentation. Look funny. Tell me if a white man's skin can look like this. Look at this lady's back. You don't want to see me when me go down a country and I walk up and down on the land and I'm marrying alone. Just 2 hours and when me reach back at my yard, skin a burn me like pepper. And when me look now, me see black. And I take time and peel off over a couple of days. And if you don't believe me, this is hyperpigmentation in black people. Look at it in white people. You see no black there, sir? Look at these 3 people. That is black or that is red? Okay. Look at this young man here. Starving. Black. So when Job said my skin became black upon me, is no Job no color? You know where Job was from? I may find it out. I couldn't put it in the sermon. Find it out recently. Job was from a land named what? Uz. You know where Uz is? Aram. Aram. Same place where Abraham come from. Uz. Check it out if you don't believe me. Don't take my word for it. Hyperpigmentation is caused also by starvation. Look at a white man when he's starving. White same way. White same way just suck out. The only thing. Look at the black man when he's starving. Get blacker. There's another condition called melanoma. Melanoma is a skin cancer. Watch this. Melanoma is the most dangerous type of skin cancer. It develops from the melanin-producing cells known as melanocytes. It typically occurs in the skin, but may rarely occur in the mouth, intestines, or eye. The primary cause of melanoma is ultraviolet light exposure in those with low levels of skin pigmentation, skin pigment melanin. So in other words, white people get melanoma. You them say low pigment melanin, it means you don't have no melanin. You have a little bit of melanin. And we know say you know we that, no so. So white people, them don't want to talk it true, they don't want to talk straight. White people. And this is not a racist sermon or if you want to run with race business. Your business that. I am just showing you who you are. The UV light may be from the sun or other sources such as tanning devices. Watch this now. So, melanoma, you know, occurs from exposure to sunlight. It's a skin cancer. Kill people. Serious something. kill your skin cancer, melanoma. And it said people who catch melanoma are people who don't have enough melanin so they can't absorb the exposure to the sun like we can. I'm going to show you in 1990 which country come third for melanoma. According to the data supplied by the ICA, Israel is currently ranked 22nd among the 30 countries with the highest melanoma rate. But in the early 1990s, when ICA started ramping up its skin cancer prevention education efforts, Israel placed an alarming third. All who in Israel now come from there and so the sun kill them. If you were from there, you would have been able to manage the climate. Just like when we go cold country, we feel like we are dead. First time I didn't take a fire, I said, one piece of something. Cool. They were not white. Songs of Solomon 5, if you don't believe. I show you how the translations mess up this thing, because they don't want you to catch this thing here. Coming down nicely. 2 more slides. I have put you under oath, O daughters of Jerusalem. If you find my beloved, if you find my boyfriend, she's saying, that you inform him that I am faint with love, me I drop down, me can't wait to see him. Miss him like crazy. What kind of a beloved is your beloved? And she started asking, what kind of boyfriend you have? Because my boyfriend have bonus boyfriend. So she was saying, oh, beautiful among women. What kind of a beloved is your beloved that you have put us under oath, they are asking. Look at her description of her beloved, because they are saying to her that, listen, what's about your boyfriend make you a rave and a go answer? Why are you raving like this about your boyfriend? About your husband? What is it so about him? She said, hello, excuse me, let me tell you, let me explain. My beloved is dazzling. Is ruddy. Yeah, Oliver said, when the girl said, chat Spanish to me, Oliver, chat it to me and say, te, será, muy. And none of that no mean nothing. She said, my beloved is dazzling. Is ruddy. Is chief among 10,000. His head is refined gold. His locks are wavy. And black as a raven. You see how this translation says dazzling and ruddy? Look what the King James said. What ruddy mean again? Red, no sir? Look what the King James said. The King James said, my beloved is white and ruddy. Is white and red. I must see cornflakes, red and white. I must see Santa Claus, red and white. I wish man ever see red and white at Maggie. Eh? I am showing you the series, by the way, is called The Conspiracy Against Israel. I'm showing you the conspiracy against Israel. The King James said the man white and red. Is dazzling and ruddy with brown, nice brown. When you hear they say they're searching for a red heifer, you're not looking for red like that is on Morgan's head. It's a brownish type of red. When you hear ruddy, from the earth, you ever see red ground yet? From the earth. Yeah, man. My brothers and sisters, Father Abraham was a black man. Black. And Father Abraham has many sons. So many sons of Father Abraham. Hallelujah. So in closing, your father was an Amorite. Indeed, he was a wandering Aramean. And as we go through the series, I am going to show you, hopefully, next week, maybe we have to do some gymnastics. I want next week for us to look at the first 10 tribes that went into exile and where they are. And then we're going to look at the other two and see if we can pull out some things, because I have some things to show you. Mr. Columbus him. I have some things to show you. You would have never believe. But until then, Father Abraham, my brothers and sisters, have many sons. So many sons of Father Abraham. And I am one of them. And so are you. So let's just praise Yahuwah. Hallelujah.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Wade. Wonder what our skeptic will be saying now. And gone the other way again. Head wrap up. Preach blackness. How does that affect the salvation? But they say, same one says, you don't know where you're coming from. You don't know where you're going. But I tell you, man, these things are quite something. But I always tell them, each man to them one another. If that's how you feel about it, you do your thing. But as for me, if my house no want come, me alone I go. So that way each man sit on I say each man on one bottom or top. Have to answer for themselves. So let us continue to hold our head high and continue looking to Yah's word, knowing our history, so we understand better where we are going. And as we thank our dear brother for presenting for us, and much more to come to continue to enlighten us in this on this path. So we sing our final hymn, 125, the lower light. How lovely are thy dwellings.
My soul is longing, fainting for thee, O living Yah. In a bird's from his home, built a nest to lay young. Oh, that I may find thine altars, and adore thy name, my Yah. How lovely are thy dwellings, O eternal Yah of hosts. For those who dwell in thy house shall ever sing thy praise. Blessed happy is the man who has found his strength in thee. He is stronger day by day, and shall enjoy your word. How lovely are thy dwellings, O eternal Yah of hosts. Be there to my prayer, O Yah of Israel. For a day with thee is better than 1,000 other days. Oh, that I may find thy altar, Adonai, my King, my God.
We ask Deacon Morgan to give us a closing prayer.
Most righteous, most holy, Heavenly Father Yahweh, we give you thanks for everything that was said and done here today. The special item that were given to us in song, dear Father. We thank you for the praise team that minister to us in song of praises, dear Father. We thank you for the messenger that you sent to us today to speak to us, dear Father, about where we are from and who we are, dear Father. Surely, surely, it was a blessing, dear Father, and it has been a blessing for us to have the privilege to such information, dear Father. May you continue to bless the messenger, dear Father, and guide him, that he may continue to do his research, dear Father, and give us the word that you lay on his heart so that he may speak to your people, dear Father. I was blessed by such information, dear Father. So we thank you for everything, dear Father. And for the remainder of the day, Father, that whatever we may do or say, let it be said and done according to your will and according to your way. As this portion of the service come to its close, dear Father, and we are about to go for our lunch, dear Father, may you bless that was prepared for us, dear Father. And we thank you for providing it, dear Father, and bless the source in which it was provided through, dear Father. And may you bless the hands that prepare it and continue to guide them and strengthen them so that they may continue to do such great work, dear Father. May you continue to speak to our hearts and continue to keep us on this track so that we may be able to walk according to your word, dear Father. Bless us all, I pray, as we say thanks through your Son name, Yashar'el. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We now ask our pastor to come with the announcement and the blessing. And I want to bear in mind to keep all of us in your prayers, Auntie Dawn, Sister Reynolds, and Aunt Perry, and the Edlis family. So just keep them in your prayers.
All right, thank you very much, Brother Brady. Thank you very much, Brother Damani, for a presentation at precursor, because at the feast, the theme for the feast is you are royal. And so very important that the presentation may be made now so that we understand who we are and that we are Israel, blood Israel, thank you. And being that we are Israel, then we'll have to understand our level of royalty, you know. So we're told that you're a royal priesthood, you're a peculiar nation. So as we listen to these presentations, very keeping in mind. So we go to the feast in October down in Portland. We look at the fact that you are indeed royal, and so all our activities and our presentations will surround this particular theme. You are royal. Thank you very much again. We continue to pray for him that Yahweh will direct him, that he will not speak of self, but he will speak directly according to thus said Yahuwah. Please stand where you are as we close. Thanks again for those who have joined us online. We are happy to have you at all times, and those who are with us. Continue to pray our strength that we will keep focus and who we are and what we are about. Yahuwah blesses you and keeps you. Yahuwah makes his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lifts his countenance upon you and give you his peace. You are dismissed.